Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. The story we are about to tell today happened to a woman who lived in a mountainous region of the USA. The ending of this story is very mysterious and scary. Some paranormal incidents happen in human life that doesn't have any explanation. Today's story is one of those. You have to watch the full video to know all about this paranormal story. Please watch the video until the end. So what happened to that woman? Let's start the story. John's home was in the mountains of the USA. He was a farmer by profession. The total number of members in his family was 3. John, his wife Lily, and daughter Emma. His daily routine was to get up very early in the morning, go to work, and return home from work in the evening. John's wife Lily stays home all day with her daughter Emma. There weren't many people in John's village, and the distance from one house to another was fairly good. This village was formed a few years ago. Only an old cemetery, thought to be a World War I tomb, was there. Seeing the well-fertile land in this area, John's grandfather and some other farmers moved and started to live here. There are rumors in the folklore that this village becomes haunted at night, and cursed souls roam around here. Also, some people say that they had seen strangers roaming around the cemetery at night. John and rumors, but still, John was always worried for Lily and Emma, and tried to return home early every day. His tension increased when he noticed that Jacob has started wandering around his house. Jacob is also a resident of this village, a notorious gangster and cad. If ever Jacob's eyes fell on a girl, there was no escape for her. He starts to wander around her house waiting for the right opportunity, and then teases the girl when he finds her alone. Sometimes even tries to rape. Someone once said to the villagers that they should all file a case against Jacob to the police. His dead body was found at the bottom of the hill 2 days later. Jacob could not be convicted for lack of evidence. But since then, no one has ever dared to go to the police to file a complaint against him. John's anxiety was compounded by Jacob's wandering, so John tried to get home from work as soon as he could. That day was Friday. John returned home with a bunch of fancy food, and his financial situation was not that good. He couldn't afford to buy those regularly, but tomorrow his sister Maria is coming to visit them after a long time. Besides this, Jacob has not been seen in the area for 2 to 3 days, so John was in quite a jolly mood. The next morning, John didn't go to work, because he had to go to the station to pick up Maria. So he went there and brought Maria home. His wife and daughter were very happy to have her in the house, but Maria only came for 1 day. She will leave again tomorrow by afternoon's train. There were only 2 rooms in John's house. They asked Maria to sleep in one, but she didn't agree. She wants to sleep with Lily and Emma to gossip with them. Around midnight, while they were sleeping, Maria was awakened by a strange noise outside of the house. She could clearly hear the sound was coming from the cemetery side. Maria woke Lily and asked what this sound is and where it is coming from. Lily said that she may have heard it wrong, but suddenly they both heard the sound again. Maria told Lily that someone might be in danger, so they should go and check. Then she woke John up and told him to go with her and check the place. John told Maria that sometimes foxes made these weird kinds of sounds around the cemetery. And also, there is a drug addict named Jacob in their area who could do it drunk. So it would not be right for them to go there now. Marie calmed down a bit hearing this and went back to sleep. Everything was fine for that day. John got up early the next morning and went to work. Since he couldn't go to work yesterday, so he has to work extra time to cover up. Before leaving, he told Lily that he will try to come home early, but if for some reason he can't, drop Maria off the train and come home before evening. It was almost afternoon. Lily told Maria that there was no sign of John's coming. Maria kept saying that she could go on her own, but the area was unfamiliar to her. She didn't know the roads as well, and it was hard for her to go to the train station alone. So Lily didn't listen to Maria and decided to go with her to the station. They waited a little longer for John and finally left for the station, leaving Emma at one of their neighbors' houses. It was a little late for them to get there as the road became muddy due to rain. After reaching the station, they found that the train was late also. When the train finally arrives, it was almost evening. Maria got on the train and Lily left the station towards home. It was dark all around. Lily wanted to walk fast to get home, but it seemed quite difficult because of the mud on the road. After crossing a little distance, Lily stopped by hearing a sound from behind. She tried to hear the sound better, and her body trembled when she heard the sound again. Yes, it's the same sound that she and Maria heard last night. Lily brought a torch from home in case it got dark on her way back. She took the torch out of her bag and looked back, but surprisingly, no one was there. Although Lily was a brave woman, she started to get scared, as this was the last train of today. No one was supposed to be on this road now. The rumors of her village and what her husband told her about Jacob last night started to come to her mind repeatedly. As she got scared, she started to walk so fast, ignoring the mud, but she heard the sound again after a while. Lily decided that no matter where it goes, she would never look back. The only thought that she had then was how to get home quickly. Suddenly, the sound became very loud. Lily's heartbeat was increasing. She couldn't control herself and turned around again and hit the torch. Lily's hands and feet became cold from what she saw on the back. Someone was standing quite a distance from her. Lily couldn't see very clearly as it was dark and the torch wasn't that powerful. She just realized that someone was standing there, wearing a white shirt, some part of which was red. Lily once thought it was Jacob, but because of the heavy darkness, she wasn't able to recognize him properly. Lily couldn't control herself anymore. She started running on the muddy ground without looking elsewhere. Lily was running. She realized the faster she runs, the closer that man was getting, and the more closely she was hearing the sound. At one point, it seemed as if the man had moved too close to Lily, and she could hear the sound almost next to her ears. Lily no longer had the strength to run in. She kept thinking that she would lose her consciousness. And just then, she bumped over someone, fell on the ground, and fainted immediately. When Lily regained her consciousness, she saw her lying in her bed, with John sitting next to her. John asked her what happened, why she was running like mad. Lily told John that it was dark when she was coming back home, and she couldn't walk fast because of the mud in the middle of the road. She heard the same sound as last night behind her back. Although she didn't find anyone at first, later when she turned back, she saw someone was standing behind her. Because of the darkness, she couldn't get a clear image, but someone looks like Jacob was there wearing a white shirt. As she started to run after seeing him, the man and the sound began to follow her. He seemed to be getting too close. Just then, she bumped into something and lost consciousness. John said, "I was on the road searching for you, and then you pushed me. As you were late, I went out looking for you. After going a little further, suddenly you ran towards me, hit me, and fell to the ground losing consciousness. But I checked with the torch and there wasn't anyone behind you. Neither had I heard any sound. Maybe the last night's incident was still in your mind, and that's made a hallucination. Actually, it's my fault. I should have come sooner, but because of an accident, I couldn't come. Jacob's dead body was found on the shores of the lake. Someone killed him brutally. It was only his body lying on the shore, but his head couldn't be found. Maybe the killer cut off his head and took it away. We recognized him by his body, structure, and clothes. There was blood but before John could finish, Lily screamed, "Oh my God, there wasn't any head attached to his body. I saw it right then. I turned back and I put the light on him. He was standing on the road. There was blood on his shirt, but he didn't have a face. He didn't, I promise. I put the light on to see his face. Oh my God, there wasn't a face, just a body standing without a head. I was telling myself that I might see it wrong because of the darkness, but I clearly saw he didn't have a head. Believe me, he didn't." Saying this, Lily fainted again. That's the end of the story. After that incident, Lily was traumatized for some years. Have to take some mental therapy. They left the villages so that Lily can forget about this weird incident. Now Lily is recovered and lives happily with her family, but the mystery of that paranormal incident is still unsolved. No one knows how she saw Jacob's body standing without a head, and how he and the sound were following her. There isn't an answer to this question. Okay then, that's all for today. Let me know your thoughts about this story in the comments box, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you again in the next episode with another real-life paranormal story. Till then, stay safe, stay connected. Thank you.